Hello friends, so today we are going to see how to generate dev and prod builds for Node and Express application using Webpack. As you can see, I have this Node and Express application, blank application. Uh, First of all, I'll just initialize this as a Git repository. For that, I'll just write npm init minus or dash y. This command will generate a package.json file inside this folder where you can see our entry point for the application is index.js, which does not exist. So I'll just go ahead and create index.js file. Now, in order to write some APIs using Express, I have to add Express package to our application. For that, I'll write npm install Express. This command will add Express package. As you can see, Express package has been added. And now I can go to index.js where I'll just write a first API. For that, I'll define const express is equal to require express. Then const app is equal to express. I have to define a port number. I'll go with 3000. I can write app listen port and some console statement to see if app is running or not. App is running on port number 3000. So now we'll write a first API app.get, our first get API with default route that is slash request and response object. And then inside this API, we are going to write some console statement like default route. And then whenever this API is getting called, we are going to send hello world response. Similar way, I'll define another endpoint, another API. I'll call it products. I'll call it products route, and then instead of sending a message, I can send an array of objects where I can define ID colon 1, name being product 1, and I can copy this object and I can write ID 2 and product 2. So we have just written our two get APIs. Now in order to run it, I'll have to define a command. For that, I'll go to package.json file. Inside the script section, I'll add a new command called start, and I'll add node uh, index.js. So basically, this is the entry point of our application, and we are telling node to start or run this file. So eventually it will run our Node and Express application and these two APIs. So now I'll go to the terminal and I'll run npm start command. And as you can see, it is printing this statement that application is running on 3000. So now I can go to Chrome browser. I can target localhost 3000, and as you can see, with default route we are getting this hello world message back. Same way, if I type products route, then we are getting this array. So both the APIs are working fine. And as you can see, it is printing these console statements. Now our target is to generate dev and prod builds. For that, I have to add Webpack files, but before that I have to add a few packages to our application. For that, I'll stop the app and I'll add a few packages. So first of all, I'll add Webpack packages. So basically we are going to install Webpack CLI and Webpack node externals packages to our application. So as you can observe, I'm installing these packages with -d flag. So basically in package.json, it will create this dev dependencies section under which it will register this packages, because we need them for our development purpose only. Similar way, we are going to add Babel library, and we are going to add two packages for that. So we are going to add Babel core and Babel loader to our project. And again, I'm installing this with -d. So basically, this package is required for development purpose only. Yeah, so as you can see, this required packages have been installed. Now I'll go ahead and create a first Webpack file, since I want to generate an artifact for dev build or dev environment. So I'll call it webpack.dev.js. Instead of writing the content by myself, I'll uh, copy paste the content. So basically we don't require this line here. So in webpack.dev.js file, we are telling Webpack that this would be our entry point, that is index.js file, and that's the entry point for our application where we have written our first two APIs. Then we are telling Webpack to generate a dist folder in the root directory, uh, and then generate the dev artifacts, dev build, and uh, push those artifacts to dev build, sorry, dist folder. Let me just rename this folder to dev build. So basically now Webpack will generate dev dash build folder, and it will generate, I mean, it will push the artifacts, generated artifacts inside this dev build. Uh, in order to run this file using Webpack, I'll go to package.json file and I'll add a new command inside scripts section. I would call it build dev, since I want to generate dev artifacts, dev build. We'll write webpack config, and we want to target this file for development environment. So I'll write webpack.dev.js and I'll pass the mode as development. So now we can run this command from our terminal, and basically Webpack will come into picture and it will run this file, and so it will generate dev dash build folder in the root directory of this project, and then it will generate the artifacts and it will keep it inside dev build folder. So let's see this process in action. For that, I'll just copy this command and I'll run it here with npm run command build colon dev, and as you can see it has generated dev build. It contains one file, that is main.js file. If I open, you can see uh, a dev artifact or dev build is generated. So basically this is a build dev build content. In order to see it, I have to run this file. To run it, I have to add a command in package.json file. I'll add start colon dev to run dev artifacts. I'll write node and then I'll have to target that main.js file of dev build. For that, I'll write go to dev build folder and then run main.js file. So as you can see, currently app is not running. If I go back to the browser and if I try to hit the same API, it is not working because app is not running. So uh, I want to run my app using dev build. For that, we just wrote this command. So I'll run this command in the terminal. So I'll just call it npm run start dev, and once I hit, you can see this message is getting printed from this dev build main.js file. I can go to Chrome, and now I can hit this API again. Now you can see that data is coming from dev build, and at the same time message is getting printed here. So dev build is working fine. Now we'll proceed and create a prod build. For that, I'll create a separate file with name webpack.prod.js. Basically, I'll just copy the content of this file dev.js and I'll put it inside prod.js file. Here, more or less like configuration is same, but still for prod, I'm just going to change this to prod dash build, and then mode would be production. So this is a production build, as you can see. Now, in order to call this file or run this file, I have to write a command for prod. So basically, I'll add a new command called build colon prod, where I'll target my prod.js file. So basically, I'm writing the same command, but here I'll use prod.js file and I'll define mode as production. Okay, so uh, I'll stop this application and I'll run this command now. Npm run build colon prod. I'll hit enter, and now you can see that it has created prod dash build with main.js file. You can see the content is different. I mean, the way it has generated this main.js file, you can see the content inside. for this content looks like this. I think this is minified version, or I would rather say compressed version. But if you go to dev build and if you check main.js, it looks like this. So uh, you can see slight difference here in the builds. Now I want to run this uh, main.js file from prod build. For that, I have to write a command. I'll go to package. I'll define a new command here. That would be start prod, and basically I'll target node prod build folder, and from that folder I'll target main.js file. So now I can run this command, so that basically it will run main.js file from our prod build. I'll hit enter, and now this message is coming from main.js file from prod build. I can go back to browser, I can hit enter, and you can see it is printing products route. I can go back to our first API, hello world, and it is uh, we are getting this response hello world, and you can see in in the terminal it is printing default route. So currently we have two builds, one is for dev, one is for prod. But let's say we do not want to print this console statements anymore for production build in the terminal. So for that, I'll just go to webpack.prod.js file, and then I'll use a plugin called Tedser plugin. Let me just put it here. So this is the plugin that I want to utilize for that. Tedser plugin. This comes with Webpack 5 by default, so you don't have to install this separately. And then to this configuration, I'll add one more configuration, that is optimization. So basically, you want to optimize the prod build. So for that, uh, I'm keeping this minimum flag as true. Minimizer, where I'm using initializing the tensor plugin with different tensor options. The first option is compress, where I'm defining drop console colon true, means like we are going to remove all the console statement from our prod build. So I'll just save this file. I'll just stop the application. I will regenerate this prod build, but in a different folder. So I'll just call it prod dash build dash optimization. I'll save it, and basically I'll rerun the same command to generate prod build, that is build colon prod. So I will generate this now. I will run this command npm run build prod. If I hit enter, uh, you can see that it has generated this prod build optimization folder, under which we can see main.js file. In order to run it again, I'll go to package.json and I'll define a new command. Basically this is not required, but to just for the demo purpose, that how it is working, I'll write optimization, and I'll target the right folder. I'll save it and I'll run this command now. is npm run and start colon prod colon optimization. I'll just hit enter and see now it is not printing that app is running on 3000 port message anymore for this production build, because we have already removed all the console statements. So now if I go to the browser, if I hit this API, we are still getting the data back, but it will not print console statements anymore in the terminal. As you can see, I can call products route as well. We are getting the data back, but it is not printing the console statement here also. So I hope this video will help you in order to generate dev and prod builds for your Node and Express application. Thank you.